Alright, the washing's done, so I'm going to knock up a loaf of spelt bread and cook it in the camp oven. So anyway, we don't need this is a full loaf of flour, which we don't need because we're not making a full loaf of bread because it won't fit in the oven. Plus we won't eat it. So we need get rid of that. We'll need that a bit later. So we'll put a bit of need lukewarm water. Beautiful. About 250-ish, thereabouts, which is about right. So we'll make a little well in the bottom of there. This is just packet yeast. It just makes it a little bit easier. And I like to, although spelt bread's quite sweet anyway, I always like to put a little bit of sugar in my bread. So we'll whack that in. Not all of it is, as they say, you can put it in, but you can't take it out. We'll use what the flour that's left over there. We'll use that to put on the board to knead it. So kneading it, getting it into a proper consistency, which becomes a little bit elastic when it's producing the gluten, and then once we've kneaded it to the point where it's ready, we'll then cover it up, put it back in the pot, cover it up. I'll put it in a plastic pot, unless I don't have it in the van, because plastic doesn't take the heat out of it as much as what the metal does. So if I can, I'll put it in a plastic pot before I put it in the metal pot. And then cover it up, spray it with a bit of water so it doesn't get a dry crust on it, so it can actually rise a little bit easier. And then go and sit it in the front seat of the car, because the car, as they say, don't leave your kids and dogs in the car because it'll cook them. That is true, but it's good for bread. It's a good spot to put bread to rise. We'll mix that up. It's one of those things that I always start off trying to use one hand because of that, and you're always in the end go, bugger it, both hands in. That might be a little bit too moist, do you think? No, I don't think so. Maybe a little bit moist. All that crap off the sides. A tiny bit moist. I'll put a little bit more flour in there. Kind of just pulling it over onto itself and then sliding it forward. And once we get a little bit of the stickiness out of it in the tin or in this metal thing, we'll then drop it onto that plastic board and do it on there. It's always nice to have a 12 volt vacuum powered 12 volt powered vacuum cleaner, which is under the stove. Before I started, I did wash my hands, just in case you're wondering. That's pretty good now. That's not a bad consistency. I might have just made it, I was going to say a tiny bit dry, but no, that's pretty good. Pretty good. And when it gets elastic, when you've kneaded it enough, it becomes elastic. When you poke your finger in it, push down, well, it shouldn't be sticky like that, push down, it should spring back up. And then it's ready to go. They put it in a nice warm spot. The other thing you can do is, if it's not a great day, is put it in the sink with hot water underneath it, and then cover it over with a towel or something like that. They will help it to rise as well. So the more, obviously the more warmth you've got, text message, obviously the more warmth you've got, better and easier it will rise. And then we just bring it out here onto the thing, turn you down a bit, over there. And then once it's risen in the car, we then get it back out again, punch the bejesus out of it, knead it some more. The more you knead it, the better the consistency of the bread. I'm not a big rat for damper. I don't make damper very often. I don't mind a savoury sort of damper, but just normal damper just does nothing for me. Damper to me is what people that are too lazy to make bread do. Anyway. It's a bit of work, but it'll be worth it in the end. And spelt bread is it's just a certain type of grain. They say that it's better for you. It's a little bit nutty. Not bad, not bad. A little bit more flour. Used to, before caravanning, used to make bread all the time when I'd go camping. It was a bit like white man magic. People used to be spellbound by not so much by the making of bread, but the smell of freshly baked bread at a camp, like tent type camping in the bush. You'd whip out a loaf of bread out of the camp oven and it'd blow their mind. Just the smell of it's enough, you know, it's magic. Anyway, I'm probably doing about as much of that as I'm going to do at the minute. It's a bit stringy, probably could do a little bit more, but I'm not going to. I'll put it in there. We'll keep that flour for later. Now, we should have no, thought we had a spray bottle of water. That's alright. I'll just put a little bit of water over the top of it. Bit of moisture on it. And that'll help it to not dry out so much. Make it a little bit easier for it to rise. So then what we need to find is an old towel. Here's one right here. That one. An old towel. Put it over the top. Tea towel's probably better, but that'll do. And we're going to shove that in the car in the warmth. Whoops, maybe go up like that. We'll shove that in the car, put it in the warmth, and leave it in there for maybe 15-20 minutes or so, and then we'll bring it back out. Yeah, the bloody, I wouldn't read about it. Up there, the sun's gone out, the heat's gone out of the air. There's a bit of a cool breeze sort of blowing through, so we've taken it out of the front of the car and just left it in the container. We just sat it in the camp oven, sort of next to the fire, just to give it a bit of warmth. So it was only in the car for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then so I've put it in there now. So I'll give it another 15 minutes or so, and we'll get it out and knead it again. All right, hasn't probably risen up as much as I'd like. That's all right. Certainly risen up, that's for sure. Alright, we'll give it another beating. Okay, we'll knead it some more. Put it in the can, the bread tin thing. It's a lot more springy now. Just need it to rise a bit more. This is called knocking it down, squeezing some of the air out, or the carbon dioxide I should say, not the air. Knead it a bit more, beat it up. That's it, and then it's ready to go. Put it in the tin. I'll put it back out there in the camp oven. It's probably a little bit too close to the fire. So while all this is going on, I'm outside reading Peter Fitzsimon's book on Tobruk. My grandfather was one of the rats of Tobruk. It is an absolutely fascinating story. Bit of a warmonger I am, but the way that it plays out in the actual field is nothing short of staggering how it played out. And I particularly like Fitzsimon's writing style. I do enjoy a book. When I'm away camping, generally the only time I ever read. So what we'll do is we'll just chop that in half. And yeah, he's got it's a very easy style. It's very easy to become absorbed in it. I can't handle fiction. I just don't see the point in reading other people's made up stories. I get that some people love it, but yeah, not for me. Anyway, so that's that. So that'll go back into the, put a little bit more water on it because we don't want it to dry out while it's rising. Sometimes wrap it up in cling wrap, or put a bit of cling wrap over the top of it. Stops the skin from forming a crust. Makes it a little bit harder for it to rise. So put a bit of water on it, stick our towel back over it, stick it back in the camp oven and let it rise. We'll give it about half an hour and then it should be ready to put into the heat and cook. So now I've taken it out of the camp oven, just stuck it in the front seat of the car for the time being while I preheat the camp oven. I'll take you inside and show it to you. Jesus, it's eating that bloody fire. Christ. We just need a few coals on the top of it for now, just to preheat it. Alright, there it is. I don't really have anything to brush it with, so I've got a scalpel. Oh, don't ask me why I have that, but we'll just cut a few slots through the top of it or make it look pretty. And we'll just use this bit of rolled up towel, put the milk on it. It doesn't take long to preheat the camp oven. Put them in there. Now, I've got these, I made these little metal clips that just go onto the side of the camp oven just to give it a little bit more, give it a little bit more breathing space. Oops. Now, that should take about 20 minutes or so, and all things being equal, we should have a loaf of spelt bread. Just it's a pretty good place to cook it too. Alright, it's been about a bit over 20 minutes. Okay, so that's what happens when you slash it after it's risen. So it's dropped down a little bit, but anyway, looks pretty good to me. We'll see how it tastes.